Good evening, people. It is, and I didn't change that, it is actually Friday the 22nd of May? Yeah, May. It's been a busy day. Um, I got up at 9:30 because Jerry Ann and I needed to run to the UPS store in town because we had an item from Amazon that we wanted to return because it was the wrong thing. That, in fact, we had to fax off a bunch of um, insurance paperwork to our health care people so they can make sure we still have health care for this year. And then, of course, we went to Denny's for brunch breakfast, and then we went. Oh, then we came home. We had plans to do a few other things today, even though I said I want this. I wanted today to basically sit back and relax. I didn't want to do too much. I wanted today to be my relaxing day. So tomorrow and Sunday we can finish up other projects around the house. Now we did recently finish the coffee bar, and Jerry Ann on her channel got her those videos up and running and going. So when we came home, I went to take a nap because I was kind of tired. When it's this time of the year when my allergies and my bronchitis is acting up, I have difficulty breathing. So what happens is even though I might have laid in bed and slept for 7, 8 hours, it does not feel like it. Well, last night I didn't sleep soundly. Last night I went to bed at midnight, which is 2 hours earlier than I normally do. But of course, something in my body went, "Hey, hey! It's 2:30. You need to wake up." So I woke up and I was up for about 2 hours or so before I was sleepy enough to go back to sleep. So I went and laid back down from 2 o'clock, or not 2 o'clock, from 4 o'clock to about 9:30. So yeah, of course I'm gonna be a little sleepy. So when I got up, I was like, okay. Came out to the room. Jerry Ann had passed out herself. She was sleepy as well. She has similar issues with allergies and sinus, but she doesn't get the bronchial cough and whatnot, which I do. Speaking about bronchial coughs. Um, so we sat there. Well, I let her rest while I played Civilization on my computer because it's a relaxing game and didn't want to turn on the TV or make a lot of noise by moving my chair to do something else. So I did that. And Jerry woke up on her own. I was gonna wake her up if she slept past 2:30. I didn't pay attention, so she woke up on her own by 3. And she was like, "Oh, Mom said she wanted to go to Hobby Lobby. When you want to do that?" And I was kind of like, "Whenever you guys are ready. I don't care." Not that I don't care. It was like one of those like whenever situations. So we um we did a review or a haul of sorts on Joanne had gotten a few things from Amazon and a few things from LTT, one of her online shopping places for stuff to basically help us to remodel and re change basically some of the looks in the house, and then possibly get rid of some stuff that we don't need or use anymore. So it was a kind of a combination of wanting to redecorate the house in a country farmhouse look and purge some of the old stuff that we don't it doesn't go with our new style, I guess. So that was that, and then once we got done with doing that and letting Jerry Ann letting her back recoup because she was stooped over and bending and whatnot. So when we the three of us went to the Hobby Lobby because Mom wanted to go there for some. She's trying new crafting outlets. She's basically trying paint by numbers, and she's going to try to take up knitting again because she used to do some knitting years ago and then just stopped doing it because she was having issues with her hands, which she's not having those issues anymore. So I went in there looking like I was like, geez, what can I find that I might be interested in doing as a craft or a hobby? Because I used to have certain hobbies. One of them I actually took a 1 year course at our local community college for, and it didn't go the way I wanted it to because the second half of the course, which would have been the computerized version of it, my financing ran out. Basically, my grades were not high enough for financing. Or no, it wasn't my grades. I'll take that back. It wasn't my grades. It was just the overall money issue. It wasn't a lot of money. I mean, it was. God, it was so long ago. I don't remember how much it cost. But it was supposed to be 2 years worth. One was pen and paper. The other one was AutoCAD. Now, if anybody knows anything about AutoCAD, you know what I'm talking about. But I will get to that. So, Mom went looking for her. She was looking for a white acrylic paint pen for this paint by numbers thing she's doing, as well as needles and hooks for her knitting. So I went over, and at first I went to the model section because I used to like doing models. Now I don't have the fortitude or the nerve system to handle small parts and glue. So I usually look at the larger snap together or minor gluing or in this case the model that I looked at that I almost got but I decided not to was a model. It was supposed to be a Sherman tank model that all you needed to do was screw certain parts together. No problem. But then I was like, you know what? I really don't have a place to put a model Sherman tank. And I'm not really into tanks. I'm more into aircraft. And the only aircraft that I'm currently, well, the only aircraft model I have right now, because I used to have a bunch of other ones, but I had bought and redid was a model of the Apache because it reminds me of my dad and what he used to do before he passed away. So I went over to the drafting section because I used to, that was basically what I went for community college for, was drafting. Because I like drawing up and designing and creating blueprints or whatnot for houses. And I've got two different blueprint plans that I did in the 1 year course. One was your standard. I don't call it a cookie cutter house. I call it more of a ranch style house. And I had that all nicely drawn up and all the components for blueprinting, the electrical wiring, the wall, the measurements, the whole nine. And I was happy, and it got me a. They don't write it on the blueprint because I could turn around and sell that blueprint to an architectural company for X amount of money, but I'm not going to do that because I did the blueprints not to be sold, to be used for a company to basically turn it into a subdivision, but I drew it for like I would love to live in this house on a mountainside someplace and whatnot kind of thing. And the other one was the hardest blueprint that I did because, and even the professor or the whoever was in charge of the class said that the blueprint was good, the measurements are great. The problem with the design of the house was the fact that very few people nowadays want to live in a earth-friendly octagonal style house. Now, my original goal was not for an octagonal house. My original goal was for a round house, a dome house type thing. And like the professor said, not very many people go for that kind of housing or that kind of blueprint. And I just kind of went, I didn't do it for anybody. I did it for myself. Not because back then before I got married I was a selfish bastard, but because of the fact that I had a lot of different schemes and dreams for building some sort of mountain retreat or country retreat where I can take friends and family and get away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. So I bought at Hobby Lobby. Um, yeah, it's 19 pounds. It feels pretty darn heavy, but it's a very large graph paper for basically doing like pre pre blueprint plan houses. One of the things I was taught in my architectural design course was what you want to do is you want to get graph paper and you want to draw out your graph paper on your you want to draw out your basic plans on graph paper before you try to transfer it to the big sheets of blueprint paper. So the graph paper is great for basically the straight lines and all the other lines and whatnot. Then, because of the factor, I don't know, I'm trying to look under my desk. I don't know where I put them. I know I had all kinds of tools and whatnot for drafting. And one of them was a set of 3 different style pencils. I just got the 0.7 millimeter pencil. I used to have a 0.3 millimeter and a 0.5 millimeter. The reason for the different size lines is when you do certain kinds of drafting, the thickness of the line determines what it is. Like most base blueprints, when you start out on just a graph paper blueprint, is usually a 5 or a 0.5 or 0.7 millimeter pencil. Now, I just realized where some of my rulers might be. Yep, here's one of my old drafting rulers. My drafting eraser, or one of my oh, no, that's Staples. No, I can't find my drafting eraser. I'm hoping to find that bag that has my other drafting equipment in it, because I had everything from pencils, compass, rulers, various different types of erasers and pencils. But to make sure I had enough lead, I got the 7 millimeter lead. HP is, I don't remember the exact what HP is, but HP is usually the best for basic for basic drawing. Sometimes they use a D, which is hard. HB hard. I don't know. H usually stood for hard, and D stood for something else, and B stood for something else. I don't know if I lost that book. I had a book from my drafting course where it gave you all the information for, what this symbol meant or how to do this and what kind of pencils to use and blah, blah, blah. But I also bought and they call it a 10-piece math set. I don't know why they call it a 10-piece math set. But it has a metal compass with pencil, a metal compass with graphite drawing point, graphite pack, eraser, 6-inch ruler, a protractor, a 45-degree triangle, a 30, 60, and 90-degree triangle, a sharpener, and the carrying case. Now I want to open this up to look at it, because I'm sitting there going, some of this does not sound familiar, some of it does sound familiar. But my desire or my wishes is to either basically be able to spend some downtime in here doing drafting and drawing. And my only concern is, and I'm pretty sure Jerry's going to voice this to me later on, is me taking away time from her because of my current lifestyle with work and whatnot, which I understand. So I've got to try to balance my time out. I'm hoping that my drafting stuff is somewhere in this room, if not in the closet, in one of my drawers or bags, which I'll look for after I'm done with this. But now that I'm opening this it's a nice carrying case. It's well shaped and whatnot, even though some of the stuff is falling out of its position. But this is the little drafter's eraser that they have. I used to have a big white one. I mean, a nice big size white one. Here's their different rulers. They've got, this looks like a 3060. Yeah, this is a 3060. This is a 90. Your 45-degree angle, and then your straight. Now, I used to have the T-square, and everything was bigger, of course. I used to have three different ones of these. As you can see, it's a triangle. And each side of the triangle has like different lengths. And I don't remember if these are in metric. Yep, they're in metric. And of course, they're in metric. You know why? Can you see what it says right there? Germany. It's from Germany. I bought it here in the States, but it's from Germany. You can buy these drafting kits online. That's kind of how I got, basically the school ordered them in mass in kits. That was part of your expense at the school. So, but it has a little pencil sharpener. Oop, come on, get. Ooh, I don't want that upright. I want that down right so I don't cut myself. It has a little pencil that connects to one of the two different compasses, or compass. You put the pen in a pencil and then you tighten it so it doesn't move around. And then of course it has a graphite compass. So it's not as big as the one I used to have, which no big deal. If I can find my kits and whatnot, I'll be a happy camper. If not, I may or may not try to look for them on Amazon, or even one of many different websites that might have these kind of things. But here's a little kit. Now, some of you might be going, why did you get this? You're not a professional drafter. No, I'm not a professional drafter. I do like drawing. I do like drafting. What spurred me to get these items was I'm gonna say at least a month. I have been having dreams, I guess you'd say, of me drafting and designing a house. Oops, don't drop all that. A house with varying components. I've had a dream where I had I wouldn't say a mansion, because it didn't have that many. I mean, it had 2 spare bedrooms, a craft room for Jerry, a personal office space for myself, a master suite. And what I mean by a master suite is basically a big enough room to have a king size bed, 3 to 4 dressers, a giant 10 by 10 walk-in closet for all our clothes and the dressers to go in there, so the dressers weren't out in the main bedroom area. Sitting area, a bay window with a master bathroom that had basically your toilet, a big stand-up closet, a whirlpool bathtub, and a big sink with his and her basins. So you can imagine, if this is just one room, the house is going to be fairly good size. I mean, to have 2 guest rooms, at least, not including the master suite, 1 full-size bathroom, and what they call a water closet, or a half bath, which is just your toilet and sink. a giant chef type eating, chef style kitchen with center aisle that has your cook space, eat-in kitchen type deal, or kitchen with a breakfast nook, and then your formal dining room, a formal living room, and then a sitting room, and 3-car garage type deal. So I can go from something that big to, I even had a dream where I had the equivalency of an A-frame mountain cabin that was basically your first floor was your living room, kitchen, eating space with a loft upstairs, and the main bathroom was in the on the first floor, and the loft upstairs was the sleeping area with a basic half bath. But it looked more from the exterior. It looked more like a something you might see in 800 BC Norway type thing. So my mind has these various, I've had dreams of designing what looked like could have been a European, European chateau, or more like a dramatic mountain, not really castle, but it was not exactly a small house. Um, and I used to play. Think Jim think. I used to play Civilization, or not Civilization. I still play Sims. When Sims first originally came out, Sims by the time they came out with Sims 2, I was able to go on there, and I used to play. I used to love playing it just for the aspect of designing a house. And one of the Sims, and I think it was Sims 2, came out with an add-on for the game where it had like wallpaper that looked like a medieval stone brick wall. You could design you can design the house to look like a small medieval castle or something like that. I even had one that I designed that was more. It looked when my wife saw it, she was like, "Oh, that looks like some sort of like ancient Grecian house," and I'm like, "Yeah, because you got the main house that looks like a big square wrapped around what looks like a pond or a body of water. It was a pool basically in the game, but it had the columns and the designs, and yeah. So yeah, I enjoy doing that stuff. Could I make money off of it? I don't know, because like a lot of stuff that I like doing that could be a professional thing, um, I don't want to do it on demand. If I were to basically, now I've heard of this happening. I have family in St. Louis, and I don't know if they still have the business or not, but they were in the business of architectural. They weren't the architectural people themselves. They were in the business of finding an architect to design a house for a company. So let's say you had plans to buy a plot of land and you wanted somebody to draw up blueprints to your specifications. You would go to my cousin, who would call me and say, "Hey Jim, I got somebody who wants to do a contract. They want you to build or design a house with X amount of rooms by X amount of size by X amount of style." And then I would go to pen and paper, draw it up, bring it to them, or bring it to my cousin, who would bring it to them, and they would go, "Can we change this, this, and this?" And my cousin would write notes, bring it back to me. I would redraw it, and then I'd bring it to my cousin, and they would go, "Oh, that's exactly what we want." And my cousin would take the paper, the rough draft of the blueprint, run it through a machine that would create an actual blueprint. And that right there is simple, because the paper you draw on, when you put it through this machine, turns the background paper blue and the pencil marks black or white. And that's basically how you do your blueprint. But I'm the type of person who wants to sit there and draw up the house and go, I'm done. I'm not going to make any changes. This is the final. Once I get it onto the white paper to be turned into a blueprint, I'm done. People can buy that copy of that design or buy a copy of that design, take it to their contractor and say, build this. But I do like doing that. I do like making these blueprints. Anyhow, I rambled on for almost half an hour. I am now going to enjoy the rest of my night either watching something with my wife or just seeing how well I can conquer the world without blowing it up on Civilization. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this conversation, give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. For those of you who might ask me if I'm willing to show them either something I'm working on now or see if I can find my old blueprints, I might be able to do that. Or at least I'll try. If you're a new subscriber, go ahead and tap this bell, and YouTube will let you know about the next video. But before I do sign off, I want a little bit of a shout out. For those of you who watch my wife's channels, you've probably heard about, and I'm going to show the shirt, the Fry Life. That's Ollie, their dog. He's a good service dog. He's getting up there in age, but he still is with them, which is great. And the reason why I'm giving a shout out to the Fries is because they're, even though I don't watch them a lot, my wife watches them daily, which is great. And sometimes I get to catch a video and go, oh, wow, that's interesting. Wait a minute, what do they do? I want to give them a shout out because not only have they... I'm not going to cry. Not only have they been an inspiration for my wife, but the snippets that I watch, the bits and pieces I get to watch because it's either I'm home and Jerry's playing it and I just happen to listen to it and go, oh, wow. Mary is... she's a trooper. I'll say that much. Mary, she... I gotta get off this. She does a lot with her health issues, and she's an inspiration for a lot of people, not only just for my wife who has her own issues medically, but for those other people out there who have got the same issues as Mary. So, shout out to you guys for being the inspiration you are. So now I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Until next time, have a good day. Be safe. God bless. Bye.